All right. And where we at here? All right. We are live. We are live, family. Let me get this real quick. Hope all is well. I am currently in Thailand. It is early morning here, probably evening where you guys are at. And I got some breaking news, some pretty much good news. I know I did a news update yesterday telling you guys that they would require proof of COVID vaccinations, at least two minimum of two shots to enter Thailand. But as you can see in this article that I'm about to pull up right now, give me 1 second. Yesterday evening, I said maybe around 6 p.m., they rescinded that. So the headline reads: Thai Public Health Minister says COVID-19 vaccine documentation proof requirements to enter Thailand will be canceled. Basically, guys. So a lot of guys are happy. Good news. You don't need any type of vaccination requirements to enter Thailand. All right. So they did rescind that. No documentation is needed. It has been a little confusion about the insurance, whether you or not that you need COVID insurance, but you do not need. If you're American, you do not need COVID insurance because they're not requiring you to take a test upon arriving back in America. So if you are from a country that wants a COVID test when you leave or when you enter your home country, that's when you're going to need COVID insurance. All right. So good news, fellas. Once again, no vaccine documentation proof requirements to enter Thailand. All that has been canceled. Things move quickly here. Things definitely move quickly here. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Amar in the building. Shout out to you, Amar. Shout out to Boss Don Dada. We got Boss Don Dada in the building. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you checking on in. Oh, also, I pinned it to the top. The live stream channel will be moved to this channel right here. Make sure you sub to it. It's the Passport Bro live channel. I got it pinned to the top. I didn't pin it last time. So make sure, because the live streams from pretty much moving forward, the majority of the live streams is going to be on this channel. And I'm going to keep this channel mostly for blogs and interviews. All right. Now I want to give a shout out to Todd Mike Peace. He says, hey, from Miami Beach. What up, FG Low? We in here, man. We in here. Shout out to Delno Music in the building. Shout out to you, bro. I know you're going down there to Brazil. Speaking of Brazil, I'm gonna pull up an article real quick on Brazil, man. Brazil is very interesting things going on in Brazil right now with the former president and the new president that's in office. All right, we're gonna cover that. Andre Baker says, "Great news, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a headache to have to do that to enter the country, but once again, they rescinded it. I think it was because of the Chinese. Pretty much, the Chinese just opened their borders, and they recently had like a spike in COVID. So they was trying to get people to, they was suggesting pretty much that, hey, you're gonna have to show proof of a vaccination before you enter the land of smiles. But once again, that's be rescinded. So now you don't need anything. You don't need to get any type of special COVID insurance as well. That's if you're American, because American is not requiring you to take a test upon entry. Now, if you're a foreigner, if you're going to America, then yeah, you might have to have insurance or proof of vaccination. But if you an American national, of course, you don't need anything right now to come to Thailand, enjoy yourself, and leave and go home. All right, so big news. I want to give a shout out to my dude, Backpack Val. I was on his channel yesterday, man. We had a real good panel discussion. Said a lot of things straight about this passport movement. Gave him a lot of information. I know a lot of guys are coming up to Rolling Loud in April, so I gave him guys some information about that as well. So I want to give a shout out to Backpack Val. He says, the least I can do for the gems you dropped yesterday. Appreciate you, my good bro. Appreciate you as well, man. That was a real good, dope show. We're going to chop it up a little bit today, too, about some more misconceptions about this passport, bro, movement, man. It's crazy. I get tagged every day or in the mentions every day of somebody, making a hit piece about, the passport, bro, movement, tagging me and everything, calling it a dusty movement and all that. I'm still trying to figure out why so many people are triggered especially on the male side. I understand why the women might feel a certain way. Understandable. I don't really do any reaction videos to all the stuff they do on TikTok about the movement. There's enough channels. You see enough of those channels that's that covers that. No issues there. But when the guys make videos about it, I'm just like, man, that's kind of strange, bro. Especially other bros, knowing how the social dynamics in America, are. It's just crazy to me. But it's all good, man. But once again, shout out to my dude Backpack Val. We're gonna go ahead and cover some Brazilian news now. Let me catch this other super chat. Shout out to Beach Bomb TV with a $1.99 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, "Oh my God, thank God, because I'm not getting that. What we call it? You gotta be careful on YouTube. The jab." He says, Beach Bomb TV says, "Oh my God, OMG, thank God, because I'm not getting the jab." Definitely understand that, bro. He said, "Those guys are haters and moist." Yeah, man. It's just, I always respond to the guys more so than the ladies. Like I say, once again, ladies just don't want to. They don't want to compete for the most part. They don't feel like we're worth competing for, so they just rather make hit videos about the movement and all the misconceptions and lies that they promote. But when I see guys do it, I just be like, man, wow, that's kind of off code, brother. But all right, knowing what we got going on in the States and in the West in general, I'm not getting into all that, but it's just very interesting. I think most of it's coming from trying to generate views by going against the movement. I think that's the majority of it, because you got guys that, hell, I thought was, a part of the movement. Once again, every guy that has a passport isn't a passport, bro. Totally understandable. But what they're trying to make the movement represent is all lies and misconceptions, basically, based on them not being. Some of them feel like they're not in a position to make any money off of it, so they'll just diss the movement to get viewership, basically. All right, and these are guys that travel as well. Some of the guys I even know. It's very interesting. Somebody says, "Good morning from Beijing." What up, man? You in China? Okay. Says, "Crazy over there, folks. So happy to get out. Next week is Chinese New Year for about a week or more, depending on work. So I'm sure you're gonna see an influx." Yeah, I'm pretty sure. See, the thing was, I didn't even know that the Chinese borders were closed this whole time. I honestly thought there was, a lot of Chinese were already here. But yeah, it's going to be a flood. Now, Pattaya or Thailand in general, Pattaya, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, I see the tourists definitely increasing. When I walk down Beach Road and all that, it's more people, it's more traffic. So people are coming back. Thailand was one of the most visited places in the world. They have a big tourist industry here. So things are definitely changing. When I came here originally, it was kind of post-pandemic a little bit. So it was almost perfect. I'm not going to lie to you. It wasn't that many people here. Like, the streets was kind of empty. If you like that kind of, like, it wasn't a ghost town necessarily, but, you can ride your bike down, walking street, and you can, walk down the beach road without any traffic or anything. Now it's definitely getting back slowly but surely to normal, which is a good thing, actually. I want to give a shout out to Deshane Coleman with $10 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, "Thanks for always keeping us updated." Yeah, man, it's important you guys be aware. Now, let me pull this up. Moving on to Brazil. This is a very interesting article. This article went viral in the Passport Bros Facebook group. Make sure you join the private Passport Bros Facebook group. We have about 10,500 members, so make sure you join it. But I want to go ahead and play this real quick. Not play it, but show this real quick. Hold on, where we at? All right. So let me now, think about Brazil, and I noticed this about Brazil, which was kind of somewhat of a concern when I was out there, is the fact that I noticed that Brazil was mimicking certain things that they saw come from America, right? Even the women, like, the culture was like kind of second step behind, ours to a certain degree. You go to even if you go to some of the black clubs, they playing music that I thought was damn near local music in America. I'm like, I'm hearing music in Atlanta, and I'm like, how y'all know about this type of music? And when you try to, you look into it, you like, damn, they really are looking into our somewhat, dysfunctional part of our culture as well. So if you guys don't know, Brazil has a new president. All right. And a lot of news outlets cover this. He said the most chilling warning from Americans from Brazil's version of January 6th, basically. So now, as Trump. I'm not gonna get too deep into the politics, and I know some guys like Trump and whatever. We're not gonna get too deep in that. We're not here for that. But this is what's going on in Brazil right now is similar to what happened when Trump did not win his second term. All right, so basically they're riding because of that. It says mob storming of government buildings in Brazil in support of a defeated ex-president making false claims of electoral fraud. So I know you guys already know Bolsonaro is supposedly the self-proclaimed, Trump of South America, Trump of Brazil, a conservative. He said a lot of triggering things and concerns of, racial politics in Brazil. As you know, Brazil has a huge Afro population. And he kind of used, in my opinion, the blueprint from Trump. I do know some Afro-Brazilians that like him. A lot of Brazilians like him. But in all fairness, it seems that he lost the election. And they're kind of mimicking what they saw happen in America, after Trump lost the election, the storming of the Capitol and all that good stuff, which is, to me, very dangerous. Those people are getting locked up left and right. But Brazil is a different type of territory, man. In America, you have rights to a certain degree. All right. You have rights to a certain degree. It's a due process. They'll get you if they want you. They see you on camera. It might take some years, but they'll send you to prison. They do things in America, pretty much the right way in a certain instance. For these guys in Brazil, going against the standing government is extremely dangerous, in my opinion. All right, because the due process isn't necessarily, from what I hear and from what my personal experience is, even with some of the police and the police are, they off and on out there. I would be very careful of this, trying to mimic what Americans do, seeing how America, you don't have to worry about certain things that you have to do in Brazil, man, because Brazil is it can get real crazy real quick out there. So this article was pretty much written as somewhat of a warning, like, hey, what's going on? Like, don't mimic what goes on in America, because it's Brazil isn't America, not yet. They try to follow the footsteps of America by becoming this polarizing political type of first world power, but it's not quite there yet. And I would be very careful, very mindful and very careful. Somebody said that's red tape. Hold on. Shout out to Philip Lindsay. He says, I think it speaks volumes that Bolsonaro is in Florida while this stuff is happening. It's got the ops fingerprints all over it, playing on the empowerment of blacks and natives under Lula. Yeah, man, it's a lot of it's always like a lot of political strife. Even when I was down there in Brazil, it was me and Dennis Jean-Pierre at a cafe. I believe it was New Year's Eve, if I'm not mistaken. And a whole bunch of Brazilians came down with the flags, and they were chanting for the president. I don't know if he just made a speech or some type of announcement. I think it was in concerns of the COVID situation. I'm not sure. It might have been, is it a New Year's or right after Christmas, somewhere in that general week. And we saw, me and Dennis Jean-Pierre saw the marching that was walking past us, and we were just kind of thrown back by wow, this stuff goes on all over the world. When people feel jilted. Now that particular march was in people of support of the actual president, and they were screaming at the top of their lungs. They was, banging on all types of, stuff and everything. It was extremely loud. And it was just, you're just like, wow, like, political, politics is, very important all over the world. Somebody says, watch the news now saying 1,500 people have been arrested. Place like Brazil might pack everybody in one cell for a week without a hearing, not fun. That's what I'm saying. Like in America, we have somewhat of a, it's definitely a little slighted in America. We all know that, America, they be on their own little thing, but they at least feed you, in jail, in these holding cells. They'll give you a meal or two. It might be a terrible meal, but it'll be a meal. And some of these prisons overseas, man, it can be pretty sketchy, to say the least. So, hopefully everything calms down. I know a lot of guys love Brazil. I love Brazil. But, when things get, political out there, you might want to delay your trip to a certain degree. It's not too bad. Usually what I noticed, like even when I was in Colombia, they was having their political turmoil. They try to keep the tourist areas a little insulated because those are pretty much money-making areas. So I don't imagine places like Copacabana, Ipanema, and the Lima area will have, any issues. It look like they're kind of more concentrated in the downtown areas, to try to focus most of the rioting out there more so. But I still would be careful. As a matter of fact, I remember when I was in Colombia and there was an American woman. She was out there protesting with the Colombians. And then when the police found her, they just deported her. They just got her up out of there real quick. And we were trying to figure out, because it went viral through some of the Facebook groups. We were trying to figure out, like, what are you doing out there? You American. I understand you want to, identify with the issues of the people that's around you, but they're not going to tolerate it from foreigners. They're not going to tolerate not one bit. So if you were living in Colombia, they have the right to pretty much ban you for life if they catch you out there. So just be mindful and be very careful of that. Even if you just out there just trying to see what's going on or filming and asking questions, they can see you and they say, hey, wait a minute, you're American. What are you doing out here? Get this person out of here. So just be careful of that. Somebody says, Waycross, Georgia in the building. That's crazy, man. They say Waycross. Every time I hear that, that's crazy. That's a small town in Georgia that I got some of my family from. That's crazy, man. Shout out to Mac7114 said, mind your business is important. Yeah, they don't play, bro. They don't play. Let me turn this down. Give me 1 second, fam. Now, I want to talk about this, man. I was looking at Austin Holloman's stream. Shout out to Austin. I was looking at his stream yesterday, and I'm gonna drop a link if anybody want to come up and discuss, all these misconceptions about the Passport Bro movement. Excuse me. Excuse me. I was looking at the stream yesterday, and what I noticed, man, once again, shout out to Austin Holloman. It was a great stream yesterday. It was about him not being able to, I think, go to Peru or something like that. But of course, as the stream went on, they touched on various different topics. And I'm gonna drop a link real quick before I go to, if anybody want to pull up and say their piece. But the thing about it, man, what I noticed and what guys got to realize in general about traveling and having, different experiences, everybody's experience overseas is going to be different. And I see guys pigeonholing all Americans into one general, thing or experience, I'll say the least, when everybody's experience is going to be much different, right? So when I hear things like, if you go to Colombia, you go to Medellin, and you're a foreigner, you're a gringo, and you're not able to obtain a regular girl, a girl that's not in the game, a girl that's not participating in the fast nightlife, the fast come up type lifestyle. Knowing I lived in Colombia for a year and I had two girlfriends, you can get a regular, girlfriend basically. But when I hear these guys on these panels saying, "Oh man, they look at you as a foreigner, as a gringo, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be able to do that," is a little disingenuous because you wasn't able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's experience is going to be a little different, bro. And the more time you spend in the country, the more opportunity you have to date around. Dating can be complicated anywhere on God's green earth. And I try to tell guys that, you have expanded your options by leaving the States, and you're dating women from different cultures that have different values and all that good stuff. So yeah, it isn't, truth be told, Colombia doesn't have like a hookup culture like, it does somewhat in Brazil or in Rio, stuff like that. But, these guys, they pretty much are telling you their personal experience. And that guy might be 400 pounds overweight, or he might not be, attractive to some of the women out there. He might, be socially awkward. So he's going to tell you his experience. His experience doesn't mean that's going to be your experience. And that's all I'm trying to say. Now, I hear these on these panels, and, people are trying to be not one-sided, I want to say. But they're telling you their narrative, basically, is what I'm trying to say. All right. And it's just not one thing. Everybody's experiences is going to be much different. I mean, people are different ages. People are different, have different looks, different ethnicities, different height, different personalities. You might have ran into a woman that speaks English in these countries. It's different experiences for you, bro. It's not all just one thing. So I think it's a little disingenuous when I listen to a panel and they say, well, you're a foreigner, they're just trying to take advantage of you, they're just trying to use you. No, that was your experience. That was your experience, because more than likely you went the easy route and tried to date one of them girls that you met in a club or something like that, instead of taking your time, and meeting girls a little more genuine. I always say the best way to meet a woman, at least in Colombia, is to go through a Colombian. All right. They like to, hook people up out there. It's a real romantic culture. You have a Colombia homeboy. You can ask him, hey, man, you got any, friends that are single or something like that? That's the best way to get hooked up in Colombia, is to go through your social circle. All right. It's a whole lot safer than the dating apps or meeting women in clubs and bars, random clubs and bars. Right. So your experiences can be much different. I give you prime example. I got two friends out there in Medellin, Colombia, that are very popular DJs. And they have, a crowd of, Colombians and, foreigners, Americans that pretty much frequent their sets. So if the DJ goes to this particular club, everybody's gonna go to that club. You're gonna meet cool Colombians, you're gonna meet other Americans, and you kind of can network within that circle because everybody is known. Everybody's, following my guy, DJ J Jones, and then my other guy, I forgot his DJ name. Oh man, I forgot his DJ name. But they're, so you're moving within a social circle, and that's the best way, to meet, women. And women will hook you up. Women will hook you up. I remember I went on a somewhat blind date, me and my dog, Citizen Lou. Shout out to my dude, Citizen Lou. And at that time, my Spanish wasn't the greatest. I mean, I understood a lot what they were saying in the conversation, but, she didn't speak any English whatsoever. And, like I said, at the time, my Spanish wasn't the greatest, but we still had a good time. We all went out. And then she hits me up like the next day and she says, hey, I had a great time with you, but, you don't speak that much Spanish and I don't speak that much English. Here's a friend of mine that speaks English. Maybe you can take her out. That's how, you meet people in Colombia, moving through the social circle. All right. Somebody said just came back from Cartagena, Colombia. It was awesome. Yeah, man. I know I put a lot of news about Colombia, but Colombia, in my opinion, even in Medellin, is one of the most best cities in the world, hands down. I love it. I'll be returning there at some point, but Thailand has a hold on me right now. But it's a dope city. It's a dope experience with some good people out there. I hate that it has what it has going on right now. Hopefully they can kind of get it together with the targeting of the tourists. But if you move a certain way, like I said before, you move in a certain social circle, and you be, mindful of your surroundings at all times, and don't drink the Kool-Aid, going down there and you just, being American, not speaking that much Spanish, and 2-3 women trying to get to you in your apartment, that should be a little suspicious. They're just not enamored by Americans, at least not anymore. because there's a lot of Americans out there. So just be mindful of that, man. Be careful. But once again, enjoy yourself at the same time. All right. Yeah, somebody said I'm not going to America until I get my Spanish right. All right. Shout out to my dude, D May, the Hooper. Shout out to you with the 5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Says, see you soon, bro. Booking my trip to Thailand next week. Coming to get my condo. That's what's up. I'm glad they changed their mind about the vaccination cards. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I gotta get you on that court too when you come back out here, D May. D May a hooper, man. You got that B-ball game. Yeah, we've been hooping a lot lately. Shout out to my dude D May in the building. All right. Shout out to Bandana Travel. He said you can get a regular girlfriend wherever there are women. That's very true. That's very true. Once again, guys, make sure you hit that like button. It's 185 in the room. I just want to give a real quick update. I'm not going to be here that too long today. I just want to give you guys an update on that because I know I did a video yesterday about the recent changes that they were talking about. And I thought it was lock, stock, and barrel for the requirements, but they rescinded it. It was supposed to start, I think today it was supposed to start, but they got rid of it. So if you're just not getting here, you do not need any proof of COVID vaccination to enter Thailand, and you do not have to have any specialized in COVID insurance if you're American as well. Okay, because I know most of you guys in here are American. So good news. You can just kind of pull up, enjoy yourself. Thailand is off the chain, man. It's a lot to do here. A lot more people here. Stop by Bangkok, do some shopping, then come out here to Pattaya. Hit us up, hit up Travelversity. We usually be at the Maju Bar. Shout out to Dante, the Maju Bar as well. Pull up on us, man. We be having a good time out here. We build a nice little brotherhood out here of all ethnicities. It's real dope. Thailand has definitely concreted itself within the big four, which is going to be Thailand, Dominican Republic, Colombia, and Brazil. Okay. Let's see. Somebody said I want my Spanish to get better. You know what? I'm going to be bringing in a brother named Kendall who actually has. We got a few guys in the group that have Spanish courses, so you guys can definitely check them out. I'm going to bring a couple of them on the channel at some point. Remember, all the lives from moving forward is going to be on the other channel. I just dropped the link. It should be at the top of the comment section. So make sure you join the Passport Bro Live channel. But yeah, it's a couple of brothers that have a couple of Spanish courses, man. What I use is Gritty Spanish. Gritty Spanish is really good because you can get actual live conversations. That helps a whole lot than trying to just look at the vocabulary. I mean, looking at the vocabulary is important, but if you don't hear them, you're not going to know what the words are if you don't hear it being pronounced. So I like Gritty Spanish. The other one that helps a lot of guys out is Spanish with Paul on YouTube. He has a lot of free content on YouTube, man. That's a good start as far as being conversational because the apps, to me, I would say that they don't work as well, at least for me. The apps don't work like that. I like just look at a conversation and listen to it and, just get it in my brain first and then dissect the words and build up the vocabulary like that. So that helped me a lot was those two resources with Spanish with Paul on YouTube and Gritty Spanish. All right. You got to pay for it, but it's way better than anything else out there, in my opinion. I know a lot of guys that learn Spanish off of Gritty Spanish. All right. Because you got to really hear what they're saying. It's a lot of slang, especially in the Dominican Republic. Colombia, they have their own slang too. And it's different dialects. You go to the coast, they speak a little bit more, faster and a whole lot more slang. In Medellin, they speak almost perfect Spanish. So that's a great place to get your Spanish on. They speak Spanish very clear and not so fast paced, not so much slang in there. So just keep that in mind. All right. Let's see what we got here. Shout out to my dude Donovan51. Shout out to you, bro. Said shout out to BMT in the chat. Hope to running you into the international streets in 2023. Oh, shout out to Gail at night. Gail in the building. Shout out to you, Gail. Appreciate that. All right, so somebody said something about the flight. Okay, the flight distance. All right. I'm telling you guys right now, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's what kept me from Thailand for a long time was the flight. Uh, it is a long flight. More likely you're gonna have maybe you try to do break it up, have like a little layover for a couple of hours in what's that, Qatar and Doha Airport. Some guys fly through Tokyo, so you can break it up. Try stretch your legs for a couple of hours, then come on out here. I think it's like mostly like a 5-hour flight after that. It is a long flight, but between the meals, it's an overnight flight 9 times out of 10. If you're coming from America, between the meals and watching movies and taking a nap here you have a comfortable seat, is not as bad as one would think. But I do understand if people say the flight too long, because I don't like being on planes a long time either. So I do understand that. Somebody said I got a flight that's broken up quite nicely. Shout out to Boss Dundada. All right. Now, somebody said Pimsleur is good. I was using that. It's good if you one of those guys like to put it in your headphones and go sleep at night. I think it's good for that. For me, what works for me really well is just hearing the conversation and looking at the words in English and Spanish. That's why I say I like gritty Spanish more so. But I did use Pimsleur for a little bit. I used Pimsleur for trying to learn Thai, actually. See what we got here. Yeah, they do be speaking fast in Mexico. Somebody said, I'm sure the long flight will be worth it. It depends on how long you out here. I hear guys talking about coming out here for 2-3 days. Man, that's not enough time, man. I would say if you do make a trip coming to Thailand, to have a minimum of 5 days. A minimum of 5 days, man. Somebody said, boss, if you make a call from home, it's gonna take you 2 days to get home. Yeah, it's gonna take you a little minute. Shout out to Edwin Thomas Sr. He said, BMT, what's up, big dog? Love your channel, man. Really appreciate that, bro. We out here, man. We out here. Listen, I'm just trying to spread a positive message. Like I say, since I got the Passport Bro handle on YouTube, I see all the videos, I see all the mentions and everything about, and a lot of it's mostly positive, but I say it's a good percentage that's negative too. And I don't know if they trying to, dissuade or warn brothers about to not travel. I still don't understand what's the purpose in telling guys not to travel. Not to get their passport and expand their options. I don't see how that has such a negative connotation. I don't see why it's such a threat of guys leaving the West and traveling, with all the lies and stuff that's put on top of it, But it's just very interesting to see that it's a possibility that it doesn't match the social norm of the West, right? It doesn't match, and it doesn't. If you can be on OnlyFans all day, you can work till you drop. You can be in a miserable relationship. You can not save your money, pay all your money in bills. All right, you do all this stuff in America, not be happy. You can complain on YouTube. 10 to 8 hour live streams complaining about the women on YouTube. All right. You got a whole market behind the dating and the red pill space. All right. But they didn't get nearly as much pushback as the Passport Bro movement. So when you silent and you protest with your feet and you just say, look, I'm good on this. I don't like the laws. I don't like the rules. I don't like dating here. It's too expensive. It's too violent. Whatever your reasons for wanting to leave America. Everybody's reason is different, or just spend time in other countries to try to find economic opportunities to leverage your American dollar. For some odd reason, a lot of people have a problem with that. Like I say, it's just not the social norm. You're not participating in the system any longer. And people, for whatever reason, want to keep you in that system because maybe they're benefiting off that system. All right. The whole serial dating in America going out, spending so much money on just a date. All right. And then she got 6, 7, 8 dates lined up. Where if you go on a date in Colombia, the woman is really interested in you because she's making the time. She's not trying to finesse you for a meal. That's just not part of the culture like that. Same thing in Brazil, same thing in Thailand. And I'm not saying that these women are inherently better, because I know it's a bunch of good women in America as well. But guys are a little flustered and frustrated, and they want more traditional women. That's their preference. There's nothing wrong with that. So a lot of videos that we do is pretty much, like I said before, it's return fire. We trying to return. We like, yo, why are you sitting there trying to limit the movement because of your position within it? Maybe your channel is not doing as well as you want it to do, so you decided to make a hit video about the passport bros. Like, let me do a video so I can get some views about the passport bros. You got whole entire channels dedicated to dissing the passport bros. All right. I'm not going to mention the names. They almost got me because I was about to mention some of the names of the channels. But the whole channel is dedicated to finding whatever negative news possible about guys traveling, which is just amazing to me. Like, they will find whatever issue and they'll put that on the passport bros. All right. So if a guy gets stuck or, in Mexico, something bad happens in Mexico, it's going to be passport bro goes broke in Mexico. If a guy gets into a fight, somewhere, overseas, it's passport bro gets into a fight, like all this negative. It's just crazy to me, man. It's really funny. Right? Somebody said, Tyler, you need 3 weeks. I do believe so. If you got 3 weeks, that's good, man. Most cats come out here on average, I would say 2 weeks. On 2 weeks is about average, I see. 2 weeks is about average. You know what, man? I've been hearing a lot. Max7114 says, what about the Philippines, BMT, one of the top places? Man, I've been hearing a lot about the Philippines, but the interesting thing about the Philippines is everybody always ends up coming back here. So, I hear that it's good, but matter of fact, one of my friends just came from the Philippines. He was begging me to come out there. He was like, man, come on out here. We get the casinos. He wanted me to come to Makati. And I was debating whether I was going to go to the Philippines or go back to Cambodia. And now he's back here. He's like, yeah, man, Philippines is cool, but nothing like Thailand. So, check it out, man. Like I say, everybody's experience is different. You're an individual. I got guys who love, Cambodia. I got guys, some of them in Singapore. Like, guys are all over Southeast Asia. I know guys who love Vietnam. I got a couple of cats I know in China. So it's all about the vibe, what you want. You do have those English teaching certificates too. I think that's pretty big in Southeast Asia, teaching people English. Everybody wants to learn English around the world. English is definitely an international language. What's funny to me is when, like, the educational system in America is a little jacked up. It's not bad, but it's jacked up because you got 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds that speak fluent English already. They speaking fluent English to me. I'm like, how do you know English? And you're from, Russia. These kids already know English. So I wish they would change the educational system in America to introduce the languages more early on, because I think that's why so many people know English, is because they introduce it at a very young level. They already start learning English, and a lot of the media, the Western media is just dominated. No matter what country you go to, when you turn that TV, you're going to have some channels in English. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I put it to you that way. Somebody said I've been coming to Asia since 1998. Oh yeah, that's what's up, man. How many days will we need to get acclimated to real life after coming back from Thailand? You know what, man? I'm gonna tell you, the time difference is kind of what messed me up, because I couldn't sleep for the first 3 months out here. I could not sleep whatsoever. It was just real. I tried my best to go to sleep. I might have been up for 3-4 days at a time, and I would just, crash, randomly at random times during the day, because, you 12 hours ahead out here. So I think that's the big difference, is trying to act. Now, if you're not one of the guys that sleep that much anyway, you might be all right. But yeah, it's going to take some time to acclimate to the actual time difference out here. All right. And guys, another thing, man, make sure you build your immunity up before coming out here, because guys, when they come out here, remember it's a different type of fungi on the food, and in the water. So make sure you get on your probiotics and all that good stuff before you come out here, because ain't nothing worse than coming out here. I mean, at one point, everybody that came out here was getting sick first couple of days. They sick, stomach viruses, the flu, all that stuff. So just make sure you build your immunity up, because I'm telling you, man, the elevation is much different. You low, you underneath the equator a little bit, all that good stuff. You're breathing different, water's different, everything is different. So make sure you build your immunity up, because guys, when they come out here, they do get sick, unfortunately. That's just the truth. Somebody said I've been in Thailand for 30 days. That's a whole month, man. That's what's up. Somebody said 1981. Yeah, you've been coming to Thailand since 1981, bro. Okay, Gail and I said I gifted 5 memberships, but I'm not sure if you can see it in the via StreamYard. No, I don't see it, Gail. Okay, I'm looking at YouTube in a second. All right. Okay, somebody shout out to Hot Sauce. All right, Hot Sauce says, I'm thinking about doing a 3-day trip. Where is better, Bangkok or Phuket? I only have been to Chiang Mai before. Phuket is a beach town. Bangkok is more like New York. It really depends on what you're going for, man. It really depends on if you want to go to the beach, I would say Phuket. If you want to do some shopping, and see all types of different, ethnicities of women, I would say Bangkok. All right. Yesterday he said, "Nah, I'm good on Thailand." I thought travel with, what was that? Travel with Keys. I thought he was coming to Thailand. You know what? Hold up. Somebody said mentioned something about the time kettle. The time kettle is the little headphones, like the Apple, what do you call it? Head joints. Man, them things don't work. I paid $250 for my time kettle when I moved to Colombia. Didn't work at all. You're supposed to basically give her one part of the headset, and she talks in Spanish, and it translated for you in English. It didn't. For me, it didn't work. Maybe it got better, but a couple of years ago, I wasted $250. I tell you that. It's better just to take your time and learn the language, man. All that, Spanish is not as difficult as I thought it was. You just got to immerse yourself in it. And I don't speak Spanish fluently, but I know how to get around, and I can hold a conversation for a while until they really get, speaking super fast. I tell them to, hablo despacio, slow down a little bit so I can kind of understand and interpret it. And my Spanish has gotten, probably bad because I haven't been there in a while. But I know when I get back there, it's going to, improve drastically pretty quickly. I should get back to the level I was before I left Colombia. But once you immerse yourself in it and you get the rules and the phonetics of it, it gets easier and easier. I know if you guys just traveling, you're going to be there for a couple of weeks, then yeah, maybe use the time kettle. But I'm telling you, man, I wasted $250 on it. It didn't work at all for me. Just putting that out there. Somebody says, lowest Colombia is on earth, I would go out there. Shout out to Colombia, man. You know what? Intech One makes a very valid point. Shout out to him with a vibe super chat, man. That's a real good point. He's just been learning Thai, not as hard as I thought. Would you recommend other cities other than Pattaya that are kind of provincial like, not into the nightlife? Go to Chiang Mai, bro. Just go to Chiang Mai. That's the, that's the best city if you're not really into the nightlife like that. So much. Shout out to Xantos Clutch. Xantos Clutch in the building. So now that's the market behind, I guess that's SBN and complaining about American modern women. I won't mention names. Yeah, it's a whole market behind that. I really demand, you got some Passport Bro channels that focus on information and traveling, stuff like that. You got different channels, but you also got channels that's somewhat trying to go into that maybe it's not unintentional, but they're going into the red pill space And I think that's what the PUA dating coaches have somewhat of an issue with. It's not the travel vloggers or the guys, with the travel podcast necessarily, but it's the guys that are trying to replace them in their eyes, the PUA coaches' eyes, with getting the passport. So it's a going back and forth. Is it a look cap? Is somewhat a look cap, because I try to tell guys, in most countries, women aren't just enamored. Some, a lot, but if you go to Colombia now in 2023 versus in 1998 or something like that, they're just not enamored by you being American like that. You just don't pull up and just get a beautiful woman on your arm. Some guys can, don't get me wrong, some guys can, but that's just not the norm. You gotta take your time, you gotta spend some time out there. You gotta court a woman, because they take dating way more serious out there than they do in the States, where we do serial dating in the States. That's kind of like our culture, just dating more than one woman, and she's dating more than one guy. And, she got, like I say, 6-7 dates lined up for the month, so it's a little different. Somebody said the flight to Thailand is high. Fly out of the Bay, man. Fly out of San Francisco. Get a little, get a little, BS local domestic flight to California, and fly out the Bay. Fly to San Francisco. The ticket is going to be a whole lot cheaper if you do it that way. All right. Somebody said stop supporting the Matrix. Yeah, Chiang Mai is very chill. Oh yeah, I heard about that. You know what? I might go to Sao Paulo this year, man. I'm definitely going to Brazil this year. I think that's Marcellus Travel says, I'm out here chilling in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I've been here for 3 months and would never look back. Thailand is next for me in February. That's right around the corner, man. I heard some good things about Sao Paulo. Somebody says, all right, somebody said Philippines is good for a wife, but Thailand for everything else. Okay. Somebody said Singapore is popping. Man, I heard Malaysia was popping. I actually met somebody from Malaysia not too long ago, and I thought they were African American. I was totally shocked that she was from Malaysia. We got Beach Bum TV in the house. He said, I got better things to do than spend 4 hours hating on anyone, regardless of what they do. Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like the people that are winning don't have time to hate. The entrepreneurs, the people that are, successful, trying to do something with their lives, who are focused on their own road. They're not making 4-5 hour live streams about what Passport Bros got going on, trying to hate on the movement. Oh, you know what? I want to hold up. I got a good comment here. Where is it at? Shout out to Bandana Travels. He says, Edwin, I feel you, dog. Every country has its pros and cons. That's the truest thing ever. That is the truest thing ever. That is very true. Every country has its pros and cons. Very true. There is no perfect country in the world. All right. You got countries where the women are beautiful, and they're submissive, they traditional, but it's violence everywhere, or the food is bad. You got all types of those different situations. There's no perfect country. There's no perfect setup. All right, hot sauce. I'm at the block hot sauce. He said Cambodian women are pretty too. Yeah, man. That's a secret gem. All right. I think I called the super chats. Let's see who we got here. Somebody say go Bulldogs in the building. Oh, let me catch this camera. All right, guys. So I want to give you guys a quick update. We've been here for about an hour. I'm going to go ahead and end the show. Appreciate you guys joining me. Once again, no COVID entry requirements to enter Thailand. So don't cancel your trips. Book them trips. Come on out here to Thailand, man. We out here. Peace.